I just want to do a quick video regarding some situations, some things that have happened that are currently in process, I should say, because of the coronavirus and the lockdowns that are happening and whatnot. One of the things about housing and housing construction and that whole segment of that whole business that we're involved in on a daily basis, and is for the government we're considered an essential business. So we are still full functional. There's a couple things that I've had to work around, which I'm going to address right now, so that you understand as a customer, and so that your potential customer, or even our past customers that just may be watching to see what's going on in our world. It's an ever-moving environment, as you can imagine. If you watch the news every day, you see things going up and down and going crazy. So what I wanted to do is just do a quick update on some things on what's going on with us. First of all, I haven't been able to get a haircut, so I decided to let my beard grow too. It's funny, is I built a house for a customer who is a beautician, and I happened to see her a couple weeks ago. Hello, Taylor. Anyways, I thought about it when I was there. Man, I wonder if she could cut my hair for me. And then I thought, well, shoot, I don't want to get her in trouble. But anyways, one of the things I want to talk about is that the factory is still fully functional. It's just not functioning at capacity. The factories have certain people that aren't at work, for example, because they run a high risk, or and they want to do social distancing when they're in the factory, and so there's some limited staffing in certain cases and whatnot. So the houses are still being built, may not be getting built at the same pace, but the other thing is I'm shut down from doing factory tours for the safety of the customers and the safety of the actual factory employees, to try to limit the number of foreign objects that are going into the factory. So I cannot provide any factory tours at this time, and I don't know when that's going to end. That's number one. Number two, I do have houses that are out in the field. On our Facebook page, Factory Direct Modulars, I've been posting more of those recently, just to try to keep everybody abreast, because I really haven't been able to give anybody updates on people that I am working with, and a lot of people, I think, just kind of think that we're probably in shutdown mode or whatnot, which we are not. But I do have houses in the field I can show. Another thing that's really cool, I wish I already had it, and again, you gotta understand, I build these houses, I deal with the consumers, and I deal with the lenders, and I deal with the contractors, and I deal with a lot of elements all day long. And sometimes I have to sit back and reflect on my own self, and I realize, holy cow. So if I could do 3D dimensionals of these houses, it'll allow people to go right in on a virtual tour and whatnot. So I've bought the equipment to do all that. Once the equipment gets here, I'm going to have to teach myself how to use it, just like I taught myself how to create the websites that you actually see. I built those myself. I taught myself how to do that. I taught myself how to do the videotaping of the houses. I've taught myself how to do the Facebook page. I've taught myself how to advertise in the internet. I mean, all that is self-taught. Well, I'm going to teach myself how to do the 3D tours, so that as I'm finishing houses, I can create 3D tours. I've got to get the equipment. Shipping and all that kind of stuff is a little offbeat too, because of this coronavirus stuff. But anyways, I can't wait to do that, because it's going to be really cool. You're going to be able to zoom right into each room, be able to see the stuff. It's going to be really dynamic. I'm going to still videotape the houses too, because when I'm videotaping, I can still walk through and say things about the houses that I can't do in a 3D. But anyway, so that's an exciting thing I am getting ready to do. So, you know, those are the things that we're doing. You know, just can't do the factory tours. I do have houses in the field. Now, the one thing I'm going to talk about also is engineered plans. People that are trying to design houses that are not on my website, whatnot. Engineering is backed up too because of all this coronavirus stuff. We're having a hard time getting drawings. We're having a hard time getting plans engineered. We're having a hard time getting the engineered plans certified. It's just, you know, if it's a house I already have on my website and we're not doing any changes to it, well, then I already have all those houses certified. I've already paid all the money to do that. But the ones where we're changing things and whatnot, that is taking some time. And you know, but it is moving forward. I am still doing it, but it is an issue that I'm dealing with today. Next, and the most important that you may or may not be aware of is lending and the lending environment. You know, the backbone of our business is lending. It is my actual background that got me in this industry back in 1996. I was a lender, and I know more about lending than the people that lend you the money, trust me. But, and I'm not trying to toot my horn, that's just a fact. And the issue with lending is, you know, the government went ahead and did the stimulus package, as you've all heard about in some way, shape, or form in the news. But what it did is, you know, it dropped literally a grenade in the lending industry, because all of a sudden they're telling everybody, well, if you've been impacted by coronavirus, you can call your bank and not make your payments. Well, you can just imagine the grenades that went off in the mortgage industry because of that. So there really was a period, you know, in the past few weeks where I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to construction fund any deal at all. So now over some time that's calmed down, and people are starting to see that, you know, the government's going to backfill the mortgage companies for the shortages on the payments, and just a lot of technical stuff has been worked out. But still, there are some changes that have happened in the industry, at least for now. I think they're temporary, but they are for now, that has caused me to have to step back and reevaluate, okay, what's going on with these customers, what's going on with this lender, what's going on. I mean, I have two houses in construction right now that if the customers came to me today, I couldn't get them a loan. I mean, it's just so the market would have to calm down before I can even build them a house. And then one of our major lenders completely shut off all construction to perm loans until they can get some stability in the market. They'll still do construction loans, but they won't do construction to perm loans. So I've had to try to navigate through those waters. One of my construction only lenders has had to raise all the standards of requirements of who can get a loan, and I've been dealing with that and working back and forth. And ironically, you know, I was told one thing Wednesday of this week, and then by Thursday it had changed actually for the good. I mean, that's how quick stuff is changing sometimes with that one lender. So that's why I think it's all going to pass. I don't know how quickly all of it's going to pass back to normal. But it is one of the things I deal with daily, and that's why when customers call me and they say, "Oh, I've already been approved," yeah, I got you. I don't think you really understand, and I'm pretty sure whatever lender you're dealing with really doesn't understand what it takes to build a modular home, because I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of lenders minimum, do not. And it is my background, and it's in my best interest to give you to the lenders that fit whatever it is your situation that'll best serve you, because that's how I build houses. And so, a perfect example, April 2nd, I closed a construction to perm one-time close with a lender for a gentleman up in the mountains of North Carolina. And he came to me a long time ago, 6 months ago or so, and said, "Oh, I want to build a house with you. I've got my own land. he has a bunch of money, whatever, very good credit, whatever." He says, "And I'm using Bank X." I said, "Okay, I've worked with Bank X before." So I was like, "Okay, I can fumble my way through that one if I have to." About a month later, he calls me up and he says, "Hey, I just got my perk test for my land, and now I'm ready to do X, Y, Z, whatever, And I said, "Okay." He says, "By the way, I'm not using Bank X anymore. I'm using Bank Y." I said, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Bank X never returns my calls. I don't ever hear anything from them. I'm going to Bank Y." Well, I sat there and listened to him, and I said, "Well, okay, Bank Y, ironically, happens to be the bank that we have all our business accounts with. So I'm familiar with Bank Y too. If that's who you want to use, fine, we'll use Bank Y." Well, about another month or so goes by, and he calls me up out of the blue, and he goes, "Man, has Bank Y ever called you about XYZ?" Now, mind you, I said all our business accounts are with Bank Y. And Bank Y called me once, and I went over who we are, what kind of bank accounts we have with them and whatnot. And Bank Y was supposed to send me some information so that I can get this guy's project going. Bank Y never called me back. My own bank never called me back. By the way, never called him back either. So he calls me and asks me if they had ever gotten back to me. I said, "Nope." And I said, "And I've got, 6 business accounts with them, and, as you guys may know, with what the houses we're building and stuff, millions of dollars flowing through that bank." But no, I never heard from them either. And he says, "Well, can you refer me to a bank?" And I said, "Okay, let me ask you a couple questions and I can refer you." I answered the questions, or he answered the questions. I said, "Well, you need to call this bank." He hasn't stopped telling me how good of a decision that was. There's a reason that's the decision that I gave you. It's because you fit this mold. This is what I do for a living. I build houses. You build one in your life, maybe 2 in your life. So, it's just like I drop my car off at the mechanic. I use a mechanic I trust, and then I don't question him on what my car needs. I'm not a mechanic. I don't fix cars every day. So anyways, I bring that up because the lending has gotten even more complex at this point in time. I'm pretty confident I just am not going to deal with any lenders outside of the realm of the ones that I'm very familiar with at this point in time, until all this coronavirus stuff calms down, because I really need to have direct conversations with who it is I'm dealing with and understand that they're not leading me down a path. I'm going to tell you something about lenders. It's too easy for a loan officer to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, you're good, go build a house," because they haven't done anything other than tell me what to go do while I'm out spending thousands of dollars and wasting my time and your time. So anyways, the ones I have relationships with, they're not going to do that, because they're not just counting on your transaction, they're counting on all the transactions I'm trying to do going forward. And so there's a commonality in language. So anyways, let me leverage for you. How about that? Just like I leverage for you at the factory, giving you the better prices. Last thing I want to say is it's Good Friday. I got all my Notre Dame stuff on for Good Friday. And I want you to spend the weekend having a good time with your families, and happy Easter. And know that I'm still here. We're still here. We're still moving forward. We're just not moving forward necessarily as efficiently and effectively as ever, and obviously a little more hairy. Have a good, blessed weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon.